What's up, Dark Avenger Inc. universe? We are a fat stack of comics. I am Mark, the bagging and boarding bad boy.
I'm Chloe, the geek chic comic with geek.
Oh yeah. And we are now officially a part of the Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. Chris asked us to join. So stoked to be here. Just so grateful to be here. We're really looking forward to working with a bunch of great reviewers on there. And man, we just can't wait to see what this year brings. So really happy and fortunate to be here. And we were asked to shoot this video to just kind of give you an intro video about who we are and what you can expect from us on Dark Avenger Inc. Plus and on our channel, and just let you know who we are. So basically what you can expect from us is we're going to do, of course, comic book reviews and just anything really dealing with comic book culture and things of that nature. And Chloe's into manga, which she's going to tell you about in a little bit. But I just kind of tell you where I come from with comic books. I've been reading comic books since I was a kid. I was into the DC Superpowers action figures when I was just a little boy, and the Marvel Secret Wars action figures when I was a kid. And I think those might have came with some little comic books, and I got into those. And then as I got older, of course, I started going to like comic book shops, comic book shows that would also have like sports collectibles and comic book collectibles. Grew up going to all kinds of stuff like that. Was really into like comic book cards, the what were they called back then? The Marvel Masterpieces and just all those different cards, the Flair Ultra X-Men cards. Heavily into that stuff. And then as I get a little older, I kind of got out of comics, and then that's kind of like during my teenage years, and then in my young adult years when the comic book movies started coming out, like X-Men and Spider-Man, I started getting a little bit back into it. And then I got really back into comic books around the time Blackest Night was coming out, the Green Lantern stuff. I really got back into comics hardcore then. And then I was like spending so much money. I was spending like $100 plus weekly on comic books then. I just kind of fizzled out. I was like, oh, this is just a rough thing to get into. Kind of fizzled out. Picked up a trade or two here and there. Really wasn't hardcore into it. And then when the new 52 hit, I got back hardcore into it. Didn't quite go as hard on my pocketbook as I had been, but I get roughly probably about 10 books a week now, and been going strong ever since the new 52 started. Got back into comics hardcore, started doing Fat Stack of Comics on YouTube, and it's not even been around a year yet, but that's basically me in a nutshell right there, and I'm going to let Chloe tell you about herself.
Awesome. Well, my dad actually started me on comic books at a really young age. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 or 5, and I hadn't started like kindergarten or preschool or anything yet. I was in like a daycare, and I really wanted to learn how to read, so my dad, being the man he is, gave me a comic book. It was actually a Captain America comic book, and I tried to learn how to read from it, but that didn't go over so well. Eventually I did learn how to read, obviously, and and I think I might have been like 6 or 7, maybe 8, and he gave me that same book again, and Captain America was the first comic book I ever read, and I fell in love with comic books. I loved them. We would go up to shops in Nashville and like at the Upper Cumberland area and stuff around there, and we'd go to like places in Georgia and Alabama sometimes and go get comic books, and it was like a once a month rare trip. We'd go get comic books, and I would read them, and I'd reread them, and some of them just fell apart. And he gave me I think it was for my 12th birthday, gave me the very #1 Star Wars comic, and worst thing you could ever give a 12-year-old. Didn't tell me it was worth something, or that it would be worth something, and I read it, and it's falling apart, and stuff spilt all over it, and those are just some of my first experiences with comic books. And as I got older, like, comic books were harder to find. Like, you couldn't find them anywhere. They weren't really in anymore. And I started, I'd found Fruits Baskets #3 just laying in the hall at school. And I know some of my friends read manga. So I picked it up and I started reading some of it. And I thought they were kind of stupid when my friends were reading them. I was like, those are dumb. And they were really expensive too. And I really just got into manga and just started reading them, and I came to love Shoujo Beat, which is really girly manga. And like, I bought tons and tons of them, like thousands of manga. And then I probably got into high school and comics started coming back around, and we got some comics at Hastings. And me and a bunch of my friends would go buy issues of New Avengers, and we'd hang out and read them together and talk about them afterwards. And we did this for about 2 years until finally we just kind of fell apart, like our little group fell apart. And then Hastings had gotten in more comics, so I'm buying more comics, and then I met Mark, and we started talking and getting together and stuff, and we went and bought comics, and then we started a comic review show. So I was like, oh, this is awesome, how much better can it get? But I adore comics, manga, anime, anything of that genre, and that's pretty much what you'll be seeing my reviews on. More, probably girlier stuff, and weirder stuff, just different stuff. So I won't be doing as much as I love Marvel and DC and the Avengers and the Justice League, I won't do too much of that. You'll see more indie stuff and anime and manga going on in my reviews. So.
And some stuff we'll do together, some stuff we'll do solo, just conflicts of schedules and work and things like that. And then some stuff I haven't really read that much manga, but I'm going to get into some more manga and try to do some reviews with Chloe on some of that right there. But that's pretty much what you can expect from us.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity again. It's really awesome. It's been a blessing.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we'll close the show out with stay action-packed.
And may your stack be fat.
Oh yeah.